Hello, welcome to the Alone Show. I'm your host, John Alone, and this is the season finale. Huzzah! Or something like that. So, I am not bringing anyone for this episode. Neither co-hosts, returning people, or just anyone really. It's just me. Why am I doing this? Not even I know the answer to that, but I'm doing it anyway. So, as you all know, it's fast approaching my gosh, it's nearly approaching the 3-year anniversary of this podcast. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's the furthest that any podcast could ever go through. Like most podcasts, lasts about a couple months. I've been doing this for nearly 3 years. And still going. I would like to bring on more guests in the future, but at this point, well, A, I'm just very busy with my life, and B, I just don't feel like I have a reason to do it. But I want to. I know it's important. But at some point, I'll have the urge to do it at some point in my life. So, oh yeah, as of this recording, which is, well, this week, there is another podcast. Well, I haven't appeared in an episode yet, although there was one time I did have a recording session for that podcast, but that's long gone and it was never published. This podcast that I plan on making an appearance for is called Voice Chat Vibes. Voice Chat Vibes is a podcast that's mainly run and operated, or at least I think it is, by the one, the only Jacob Shadowminer. And of course, there's another guy, Little Nazios, who's also helping with the editing as well. Well, that's all I know, roughly. There's much more I may not know, but for now, that's roughly all I know. Voice chat vibes with Shadowminer, Nazios, and the rest of the Sagamed Studio gang, because that's what it's all about. So yeah, now, I was going to say something else, but it just slipped, bugger. Well, I tried. Anyway, moving on to the next subject. Now, I've already said this many times about the project that me, Eric, and Shadowmeyer have been working on. But just know, any day, we may not expect it. And there may be a couple issues, according to the bike community. But it's all going to be resolved eventually, and the project that me, Eric, and Shadowmeyer have been working on for over nearly 2 years now, it is going to launch at some point. We just don't know what the exact date is. Even though Shadowmeyer did have a date and set, but because of the issues, it's not worth making it the date if there are issues just popping all about. Like, from what Shadowmeyer said, whenever one problem is fixed, another comes about and just pops up out of nowhere. And it is annoying, but it is going to happen at some point. But yeah, the project, it's very soon, it's going to happen, just around the corner. And yeah, I think in a couple months after launch, there will be buzz going around, although not as much as the first time round. But yeah, so yeah, and besides all the other projects out of the way, let's jump right into the news. Let's see. Controversial COVID study that promoted unproven treatment retracted after 4-year saga. See, one of the most notable scientific papers that first popularized hydroxychloroquine as a COVID-19 treatment was retracted from its journal due to ethical and methodological issues. A notice from Elsevier, which publishes the journal, said, concerns have been raised regarding this article, the substance of which relate to the article's adherence of Elsevier's publishing ethics policies and the appropriate conduct of research involving human participants, as well as concerns raised by 3 of the authors themselves regarding the article's methodology and conclusions. So all I'm getting is that there were problems regarding treatments of COVID. I'm trying to wrap my head around this gobbledygook and a bunch of this word salad. But if we learned anything from the coronavirus lockdowns, it has really had an impact on the world, not just economically, but socially as well. A lot of people were stuck at home for the last 2 years roughly, well mostly at home for 2 years. Some countries got out early and continued their lives ahead of everyone else that had to wait a couple more years before COVID settled down and resumed with their lives. But hey, if we learned anything from COVID, trust no one and always question what goes on in this world. Even if, like, the media and even the governments say something and they advise to do something, you must always question, what is the reason? What's the motive? What benefit comes out of following this advice by such people? So, and yeah, that's pretty much the lesson, for all I know. Alright, what else in the news? The different names, different actions. Last generation wants to redefine itself. The radical, quote, last generation is giving up its name and would soon like to continue under a new name. Carla Hinrichs, co-founder and spokeswoman for the group, explains this is in a Spiegel interview. With the rapid progression of global warming, the situation is escalating before our eyes. And because we are no longer definitely the WTX news, dash WTX news, breaking fashion, blah blah. Oh, well, okay. Going off on something else, so, well, okay. Well, how did the last generation came to be? How can you say you can't say it's the last generation. The last generation of what? Now, there could be a history and some reason behind that, but I don't know of it. I don't think many people know about the last generation, presumably. We only know what is the last generation was like. How did they live their lives? Could this be a sign, perhaps? Who knows? It's only the beginning of the end. And the end is about to begin. But I digress. Apple hits out at Meta's numerous interoperability requests. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm saying a lot of mouthful words today. Alright, what are you up to, Apple? Apple has criticized Meta's numerous interoperability requests. Apple expressed frustration over the frequency of interoperability requests from Meta. The discussions between Apple and Meta on interoperability have sparked significant debate. Yeah, that's helpful. And what are these interoperability requests? What even is an interoperability? It's the first time I've ever heard of it. I've known a lot of things. Well, whatever it is, I don't think many people will give a damn. Well, maybe Risk, but he would dismiss that. They have a monopoly in the tech industry, and people believe those two companies have too much power in this world, in some shape or form, and I agree. There has to be some balance. There has to be some other businesses in such sectors having an influence and an impact with such consumers. We can't just rely on one organization forever, because what if it goes bust? What if it dissolves into something else? Where are people going to go from there? It's not going to happen, but there is something worth considering, because you never know when the least expect happens. When it happens when we least expect it. Romanian court sends Andrew Tate's human trafficking case back to prosecutors. Again, at first, I was questioning, well, why the Romanian authorities are queuing up the Tate brothers for so long, and with what evidence to prove that they are what people say that they are. But then I realized that something has to be done by now, and discussions with Eric and Risk, it's not what all they cooked up to be. A lot of things in this world is an act. It's a way to create some kind of division. It's a way to find what groups of people are part of which groups of people, and go against that said group of people for believing that they are a threat to the world and having opinions that doesn't align with such people's viewpoints. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. I agree. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. However, it just isn't enough. We can't just stay in one place all in our lives. We got to move forward. I don't know where I'm going off with this, but yeah, I am honestly, I don't think I care all that much about the case. I know I'm reading a news article about it, just popping up on my page. However, whatever happens, it's going to get some reaction, because that's what they want. A reaction. How people are going to react is debatable. But I will say this, the Tate brothers have made an impact. They have influenced a group of young men in the ways of stoicism. I may not agree with everything the Tate brothers say, but the movement behind it has made an impact. And it really has changed a perspective across the whole world forever. And it has sparked quite the conversation that is going about. I will give them that, but other than that, it just feels far too convenient for moments to just pop up like this and spark news reports and discussions. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but look, the world is a stage, everything's an act, and even though certain circumstances is good news for most and bad news for some, the reason they happen is to balance it out. It's all just to satisfy people, to ensure that both sides are happy. Not all at the same time, but at some point, some people will win while others lose. But even if you lose, or some people lose, they're going to win at some point, and that's just how it goes. It's all about satisfying the masses. It feels like a reality show, and every episode is a set of news stories, and what goes on in this world, we're here for it, and it is here to stay. Alright. Hospices in England to receive £100 million funding. Hospices in England will receive £100 million funding as part of a package to support end-of-life care. The funding aims to enhance the services provided by hospices. This initiative reflects the government's commitment to improving healthcare. The funding will help address the increasing demand for hospice care. I don't know. Now, it is early days. This is Labour's first year in government. And although it feels like it's good to have money funded towards healthcare in general, but the question is, how well is that money spent? You can put billions into a sector, but just because you're putting billions of pounds towards improving a certain sector doesn't mean the quality of that survey is going to improve. It comes down to whereabouts the money is being spent specifically. Well, is some of the money going towards the machinery? Will parts of it cover the pay for the staff working there? It feels kind of broad, mostly vague. I'm not against it, but I think people will ask for more clarity on this. £100 million towards funding hospices is great, but what are the specifics? What is the breakdown of the £100 million funding? Will it go to the staff? Will it go towards the quality of the machines, the other equipment? There are certain specifics that are important, but there isn't enough clarity. By the way, otherwise, it's a start. It's not a lot, but it is a start, and I think we'll have to wait a couple of months to see if it all has paid off, and if it hasn't, well, I don't know how else to say it. You gave it a go, but there's always to learn from such incidences. Hopefully people get the care that they can get. It may be a price to pay, but hopefully it was all worthwhile. Australian who falsely claimed to have invented Bitcoin is found in contempt of UK court. What? An Australian man who falsely claimed to have invented Bitcoin has been found in contempt of a UK court. The court ruling is a significant development in the ongoing legal battle. The judge noted that his actions undermined the integrity of the judicial process. The court plans to impose sanctions on him for his contempt. I feel like there are more important and more seriously concerning court cases to deal with, whether it be crimes, complicated dilemmas, but a guy that allegedly claimed to have created Bitcoin, what's the need? Why are there such court cases like this going about and making headlines? There are more important court cases to talk about, and this is what they're going for. A guy falsely have said he created Bitcoin. So what, he hasn't created Bitcoin? There's no need to make a court case out of it. This is just going to be easily dismissed because there is lack of evidence. And he just goes on about his day. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a member of the public, just reacting to what goes on in the world. Now, it has got a reaction, but still, it's just stupid. Come on. Come on, there are better court cases to talk about. There are more important court cases to talk about. The guy, Bitcoin creator, but not really. No, this is not one of them. It's not worth anyone's time. I feel like there could have been more juicier stories to cover that could distract people from the more important issues. Now, this is embarrassing, man. That is very embarrassing to talk of a news story like that. So sad. In the United States has officially eradicated a nest of 1,500 murder hornets, according to Washington State Department of Agriculture. Wow. Okay then. These invasive insects native to Asia have not been detected in the US for 3 years. Murder hornets were first identified in the US in December 2019, after being found in Canada's British Columbia. Washington DC will continue monitoring for other invasive hornets despite this eradication victory. What do people gain from bringing foreign species onto foreign land and pretty much destroy the local agriculture and the ecological system of that land? There's a reason that we do not mix species to other landmasses. It's going to mess the ecosystem of particular countries. And this is not a reference to, I'm not saying it's a reference to something else that a lot of people are talking about, whether it be people coming into countries to looking for work. But if there are going to be introductions of new species coming into foreign land, at least monitor how they interact with the ecosystem. Because if you let murder hornets go wild loose, of course, there's going to be problems. That is all I'll say. Outrageous. I don't know what people were thinking bringing murder hornets to the US. Hearing the name murder hornets is bad enough as it is, but bringing them over to another country on a different continent, that's just insanity, man. Don't do that. ever. Don't do that ever. Exploring motivations and barriers for climate change activists. Social media posts, online petitions, writing to politicians, and donating to environmental groups have been identified as popular starting points for climate activists, according to research from the University of Adelaide. Yeah, I can see how that makes sense. It's very true. And then we get Just Stop Oil that goes in the middle of roads, causing chaos to the traffic flow. Look, if people do care about the environment and they want to prevent carbon dioxide building up in our atmosphere, just how am I going to say this? Why not put in the effort to plant trees or build new homes for animals? Why do you need the government's help to fix the climate? You never need the government to plant trees, build habitats for animals. You could do that yourself. Now, one person won't be enough, but with a collaborative community effort, it's going to work. There is no need to get government help whatsoever. You could do it yourself. Yeah, you see all these activists just standing in the middle. Well, at least specifically Just Stop Oil, just standing in the middle of roads, causing disruption to traffic. What good will that ever do? It's only causing an inconvenience to people's lives, especially ambulances, because they need to get to the hospital. Because someone's life in the ambulance could be at risk. Their life's at risk. And if people stand in the middle of roads causing disruption to traffic, people in these ambulances could die. They could have been saved if it wasn't for this chaotic traffic disruption. Anyway, that's the end of my rant on climate activism. Again, I'm not against trying to protect the climate or preventing environmental changes. I understand nature is part of our, how do I say it? There was a time before the Industrial Revolution to push policies and promote ideas to protect the environment we live in. You don't need the government. And if you are going to speak out, don't do stupid shit. It's just not going to work out. Just don't. It's not worth it. Anyway, right. See what else is in the news. Okay, William and Kate reveal Christmas card featuring royal children. Okay. The Christmas card from Prince William and Catherine include the message wishing you a happy Christmas and New Year. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. That's all I can say. I know. There's people that will argue about the amount of land royal families hold and do they serve any purpose in government structure of some sort. I will say one thing is a benefit having royal families. Tourism. That's all I can say. And I know Risk certainly has a lot to say about that. And you know what? I can't argue with that. Hello there, Risk. Alright, so I was looking about William and Kate revealing Christmas card featuring royal children.
Okay, what's going on there?
Not much, it's just there's a Christmas card featuring Prince William and Catherine, including the message, wishing you a happy Christmas and New Year.
Wait, you got that?
No, I haven't got that.
Oh,
But there's news stories saying that a Christmas card has been sent out.
God, we just need to get rid of the monarchy, don't we?
Yeah, I thought you might. I knew you would say that.
Or at least replace it with someone who actually gives a fuck about the country. I personally don't. I personally would like to see us become part of America and be involved in Canada.
Yeah, very true.
I think we would be freaking better off for it economically. I don't think the UK can. I don't think. Is it? Am I wrong to think that literally we are coming to a precipice, right? We either become tiny little states that have no power realistically in the modern world, or we join with a bigger power. I feel like we're coming to the point like where Scotland. You know where Scotland became when Scotland realised they weren't big enough on our own, so we joined up with English, right?
Huh?
I feel like the entire union's at that point, crossroads. Whereas we're realizing we're not powerful enough on our own. And we have to make a decision. Do we want to join with America? Join with our sons? Or do we want to join with a bunch of fucking freeloading cunts in Europe?
Yeah, that's interesting.
We've got two options. We either join with America and our sons, who we know actually like us, or we join back up with the EU socialists, who effectively are, which in my view is basically just a retired old powers club, full of people that are effectively out with their prime and no longer relevant. Depends what you want. Do you want to be part of the EU? Do you want to effectively be run by unelected bureaucrats, or do you want to join America, have the Second Amendment, First Amendment, and freedom of speech to a certain extent? Who knows? So what else is going on?
Young activists take on a government agency in a Florida climate lawsuit.
Who does? Activists.
Yeah, a group of young people in Florida is suing the Florida Public Service Commission to push the renewable energy sources.
Why? So we can bankrupt our country. So they can bankrupt the state. How old are they? Like 20, 19, 17, 16?
So the ages of the young people.
I'm guessing they still live at home with mom and pop, right? They don't live in the real world. They, quite honestly, if we're being truly honest, have no real say. Oil and gas is the future. We're still going to be using oil and gas into the 2050s. I know that. You know that. Everybody here knows that. We're going to lose. Right. Oil and gas is the biggest employer in the UK, right? Like, what sector is the biggest employer in the UK? I'm pretty sure it's oil and gas. I could be wrong.
I'd be surprised it isn't one of the biggest sectors.
It is oil and gas. Stormer wants to fucking get rid of oil and gas, right? That's thousands and thousands of people out of work. Not to mention subsistent industries, right? Sub-industries that have been created over the years to help the oil and gas sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have no oil and gas. You have no catering teams. A lot of the offshore catering companies that are hired to do the mess hall for the fucking offshore workers, right? The companies that are supposed to ship out supply units and supply tankers and all that this stuff for the offshore industry goes. The people that do the offshore like medical health checks for these people to go for checks to make sure they're okay to go offshore. The companies that provide the ventilators or the hydraulic systems for freaking going offshore, they'll be out of work. And he's saying, "Oh, it'll be fine. All these renewable jobs." What jobs? There'll be no jobs. At best, these jobs will be off. They'll be fucked off to India, fucked off to China, and then there'll be loads of thousands of people out of work who are struggling to pay their bills, struggling to freaking keep rent. So that means, well, something's gonna have to give. That means like all these jobs, these fancy jobs that fucking paid for all these oil and gas type massive mansions in Aberdeen, in the north of Aberdeenshire, or Aberdeen, right? They're gonna have to fucking go because the gas hub of North Oil and Gas Hub, like, oil and gas is one of the biggest things that supports that town, that city, the northeast, especially Aberdeen, Scotland. Oil and gas is the biggest thing that keeps that city up. The reason why housing is expensive in that city is mainly, supposedly, is because of oil and gas. So if all those oil and gas jobs are gone, then how the hell can you justify the fucking housing prices in that city? But who knows? So what else is there?
Let me just check. There's a lot of things going on.
I hate the fact that idiots want to freaking go after oil and gas. It's the best thing we've got. I think Shell. Did you hear about Shell and what was this other company effectively selling off all its oil and offshore assets into a new separate company, right?
Alright, study links airborne microplastics to increase risk of lung and colon cancers.
What are you saying?
Study links airborne microplastics to increased risk of lung and colon cancers.
So you're saying that the air conditioning that we get in the supermarkets could be causing lung cancer? Potentially.
Well, it says maybe. The microplastics have been found in various environments, raising health concerns. Studies suggest potential health impacts of microplastics exposure. Research indicates microplastics may contribute to disease development.
Yeah. I can guarantee
Right?
I'm guaranteeing in the end that's natural. That's what they want.
Yeah.
You know about how our royal family supposedly is a bunch of fucking eugenists, right?
Maybe.
No, not maybe. Philip was a fucking eugenist. He always talked about, supposedly, always talked in interviews, saying, "Oh, there's too many fucking humans on the earth." The whole royal family is a bunch of eugenists. They're a bunch of people that want to play God. They're a bunch of people that want the freaking to be less people in the world. They've always have been, and that family's been it's been prominent in the royal families for decades that they're eugenists. They want the population to have less people. They're open to say it. But what else is there?
CEO slaying suspect Luigi Manioni waives extradition will return to New York.
Where was he from? This Luigi guy originally from?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked specifically where Luigi Manioni is from.
Sounds kind of like that last name sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does sound Italian. I assume he has Italian ancestry by that surname.
Oh, yeah. Wait, they actually released that?
Yeah.
No, they actually released Beast Games.
Beast Games.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they released that on Amazon Prime supposedly. I'm just
Yes.
gonna add for it on my Xbox. Weren't they calling that the next Fire Festival? Because it was that much of a failure. So they
I
were
never heard
definitely
anyone say that.
heard that was heavily over about the fact that thing was a big flop. They wasted so much money, and the fact that he was a pain to work with, supposedly with Amazon. A lot of people YouTubers talking about that earlier, a couple of months back. But I think again, the guy, as much as he's a fucking weirdo, a creep, and quite honestly a bad dude, the media's still gonna love him. The media's still gonna deal with him because, like, fuck, they give evil people like what was her name? Like they give people like those weird freaking people on the View a fucking make them famous, right? But didn't you
Yeah.
post a tweet about them being so bland? They talk about. Didn't you
The
post
thing. The
about them
thing
being
is.
bland? And
Yeah. The thing is, Risk. The reason why people love Mr. Beast is because the money he's made from YouTube, he uses that money to donate to charities and he uses that money to help people, mainly in Africa and
but he
other
doesn't
parts of
help
South
people
America.
though. He doesn't help people though. He uses it to funnel and make himself richer.
But people
Because they're
don't
paying
know
him.
what goes on behind the scenes. They just see in the Mr. Beast videos that he's helping people. He uses the money to provide food and shelter for people that are in need of it.
He gives away a tiny pittance, right? And then and he probably makes like hundreds of thousands of dollars on that. That's like no offense, but that's like me saying, oh, I decided creating a new cheese, right? A new very nice and tasting cheese, right? I sell it in the supermarket. I hire some fucking goon to make it for help produce it for $10, and I get some outside supplier. I suppose it's kind of like a company. People view Mr. Beast as just a normal guy. He's not. He's a big corporation. If he was
He has
bankrolled
so
by the
much
Churning
money.
Group, he was bankrolled by the freaking Churning Group, bastard guys in Hollywood. You don't get as big as he is without kissing a ring or doing something or selling a soul
Or knowing the right people.
or knowing the right people. Not even knowing the right people. Even if you know the right people, you have to have given something up. How much you want to bet he actually doesn't own that channel? I don't think he owns that channel. I think he sold it years ago, right? When he was poor. And effectively he's been bankrolled by the Churning Group or bankrolled by someone, right? And then but who knows? I think YouTube's gone. I don't think YouTube's going to last in it being around the next 10 years, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be around, but I don't think it'll be as important. Am I wrong to think platforms like Rumble and X will just overtake them?
No, you're not wrong. It could happen at some point.
I think Rumble will become a massive platform, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Rumble actually gains a press pass, right? And they start reporting the freaking stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Rumble gets a massive press pass for the news, right? And they start reporting the news on Rumble, specifically the president press meetings, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gives a bunch of those passes to a bunch of Rumble creators, right? Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, maybe even Rumble themselves, right?
Maybe, yeah. It's
That'll just
possible.
that. Did you hear the fact about that ABC settled with Trump, 15 million? The left
No,
are
I've not heard
fucking
about
having a
that.
fucking field day over it. Basically, this staff in offices guy, basically one of their ABC's presenters, right? Most people, right? One of their major guys, right? Freaking people on the telly quite a lot, right? He supposedly he basically was shouting so much. He basically said multiple times stuff that was not true, and he got called out on it. And Trump sued him for basically slander. Disney didn't want to go through the same shit they went with DeSantis, right? They went against DeSantis and they lost Reedy Creek. They didn't want to take a chance, didn't want to go to court over this. Quite honestly, because I don't think they wanted to go against how many Republican states are there?
Ooh, good
Hard red
question.
states. I think more than 20?
At least, it has to be at least 20 red
Yeah.
states.
I don't think they wanted to go against Florida or Texas.
No, they won't.
Or even Alabama or Mississippi. I don't think they wanted to go against those either. And I didn't realize,
It's not worth it.
why would we want to, 50% of the country voted for this man, right? Why the fuck would we want to alienate that fucking customer base? They said, we did it to protect our brands. Because we did it. And these people, right? These people are conservatives, right? The people of Trump's brand, right? They're conservatives. Some of them are very wealthy, right? They can afford,
Of course they are.
They're very wealthy. Some of them you might not even know about, but they are very wealthy men and women in this thing. And trust me, they don't need Disney. They don't need to go to Disney theme parks. They don't have to go to a overpriced Disney holiday. They can actually go to Venice. They would love to have us believe that liberals are so rich, but trust me,
do.
you do not get to be as wealthy as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, without having some conservative values. You do not get to become as rich as them without believing in capitalism and some luck. So what else is there?
I have seen a recent UK poll.
Did you hear about this freezing this Christmas?
Oh.
I'm 18
Oh, no, I haven't,
years
actually.
old. The BBC is not even wanting to fucking show that on the news.
That anti-Starmer Christmas song.
Yes, supposedly it's number one in the iTunes charts, in the EE charts.
Wow.
And they're trying to hide it. They're not going to play on the BBC because it just proves their narrative. The BBC's Labour's fucking propaganda arm.
Yeah, but what happened to
take away
being
their
impartial?
To take away their license. Let them fucking have to freaking compete themselves. Let them find new ways to creatively make money. We shouldn't be funding these cunts. They shove out drivel. Let them freaking fund themselves. They're a multi-billion corporation. Why do we fund them? Take them public on the London Stock Exchange. Let them perform their own revenues. Turn BBC iPlayer into a subscription service. Make money and charge them about £5-6 a month. And if you want, show some ads. Partner with the likes of partner with some of the biggest ad agencies in the world. Start showing some ads. I'm sure there's people in abroad that would want to watch the BBC, especially in Australia, New Zealand, even in Europe.
Hmm.
Do you think there'll be a time where the BBC's we're not paying for the BBC, Jamie?
A time like that could come.
I think it'll come sooner rather than later. If Nigel gets in, I think we can see it go. I think we can see them having to pay some money. Would it be smart for me to say that? Well, I'm surprised. Do you think that why haven't we tried to target Japanese companies and have them IPO on the London Stock Exchange?
Good question.
Or Asian companies, right? Or Korean companies, right? Because they're extremely hard to fucking get on the stock exchange, right? Why don't we offer them a dual listing? Allow them to list on the freaking London Stock Exchange and give them some more money. Some more financial opportunities. Because realistically, the only stocks I can see are Toyota and fucking Nintendo.
Yeah, that's true. I think what Asian businesses don't want is to sacrifice the cultural autonomy with the products and the services they provide just to get extra money. Although it would be useful, but they're trying to conserve the values and the culture and the mindsets that they have for their businesses.
No, I think it's just they don't want to give up control to a bunch of globalists like BlackRock and State Street. It's understandable. I'm surprised we don't try and fucking target, Singapore, right? In Malaysia.
Yeah.
Why aren't we trying to get those companies listed on our London Stock Exchange? Why are we trying to actively offer these companies that are in Malaysia, Singapore, even India. Why aren't we targeting Indian companies?
Maybe they just don't know about it.
Or Australia? Why are you're telling me they don't know about Australia? They're telling me they don't know about Indian companies.
Australia's doing their own thing.
Australia,
Yes.
saying why not have some of their companies IPO on our stock exchange? Why don't we build a new stock exchange? Why don't we Why don't we try? I'm guessing, you know what Europe's done with their stock exchange, right? Why haven't we merged the London Stock Exchange with a bunch of other stock exchanges and become a bigger one?
Guess we'll never know.
We know why.
Because they don't want power.
Mm-hmm.
I said it. I called it. It's gonna happen.
Imagine if we merged the New York Stock Exchange, right, and the London Stock Exchange together. How powerful would that be? New York and London. Massive.
That'd be extremely powerful.
People have always said, like, London's always been the main stock exchange for effectively countries abroad, especially in Europe. That's what I've always noticed. I've always noticed that London's the better stock exchange for global if you want to reach into markets similar to America. So what? So are they still mad? Are the crazy people in New York still mad about Trump winning? Or are they calmed down and shut the fuck up yet?
Don't know. Haven't checked yet.
I feel they're still crying about it, but it's not. They're
At least
not crying about it as
at least
much
they're not fucking
on the
bitching
night.
on Twitter or X. At least not bitching on TikTok.
If you really want to see people crying about Trump winning, you should go onto Blue Sky because that's a lot of where. Okay.
I was just thinking about that
Blue
too.
Sky is where it's all at. That's where you see all the crying libs.
Yeah, go to Blue Sky if you want to see their reaction.
Nah, I respect my fellow Britain American, but I don't want to see a bunch of grown ass men and women crying. Just makes me want to cry. It just makes you want to cry and laugh. So what else is there?
Oh yeah, to say recent polls was showing about what the results could be in the next general election.
Oh, it's easy. Reform can do extremely well.
Yeah, under the current first past the post.
Form a new government or not for the new government, but I think they will be. I think a lot of people will realize the fucking Conservatives are dead, right?
Not yet, but
no, I think there's
looks
a
like
lot
it.
of people that are waking up to realize it can't be Badnock. They're not the fucking guy, not what you need. A lot of them are switching to reform. A lot of these financial backers are going to move, right? A lot of big freaking financial Tory backers are going to fucking move to reform. You got Nick Handy, who's probably going to get us a shitload of money as Reform's new treasurer. You're going to see him fucking bring hundreds of millions, or serious amounts of dollars to Reform UK. I personally would like to get rid of Reform UK and just call it Reform, or have them call themselves something else. Because Reform UK, just like, why that name? Why can't we just call it something else?
Well, what would you suggest? Like,
what do you think, Toby?
Like UK Reformed?
Doesn't have a good name to it, does it?
That's actually.
What if the Reform Party goes international? There could be a Reform USA or Reform Australia.
I mean, I'll be honest. They should probably be called something other than Reformed, though. Yeah. I mean, I get it.
They're they're effectively your version of MAGA, but we could create we could take over. We could hijack the Republican Party like you did. We could hijack the Republican Party like what Trump did. We had to create our own new party from scratch.
I'm gonna be honest. There's some people who call.
We got 4 million votes in the last election.
Wow.
4%, 4 million of the votes, right, out of the total votes. I think we came second, right, or is it third? The voter share.
Probably second.
We bet the Lib Dems, we bet the Greens by a massive margin.
Yeah, Reform UK came third in terms of total vote share, 14.69%.
And under a real fucking voter system, we probably would have got 90 votes or something like that, like that, wouldn't we?
If the last general election was under proportional representation, where if the percentage of the vote share for each party is reflected in the number of seats given, Reform could have 93, 94 seats under PR, that's a lot of seats.
Have you ever wondered and thought, but maybe this is what they want? They want us to vote in Reform UK.
Well, I'm certain that you would not say that, but Maybe, but they will not say that. No one would ever believe that could be the case.
Because, I'm starting to think the way they're pushing Reform UK, right? I'm starting to believe that maybe this is something that they want. They want us to instill these people because they want us to have false hope, like Trump.
Yeah, give the
Maybe they're
impression that,
maybe
we have a chance,
this
but then
party is secretly
all of a
full of a
sudden,
bunch of globalists, right? And they want to try and use these guys to get the people that you really want in power. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to vote Reform UK because I still think they're a better option than Lib Dems and Tories and Labour. I still question will they actually follow through on anything on their manifesto. They even call it a manifesto. They called it a contract with the people, but who knows?
They call that contract with the people.
A contract, yeah, the contract. They didn't want to call it a manifesto. They called it a contract, which I think.
well, the reason they call it a contract because calling something a manifesto is like
That's
what
like
we say is a bunch of
didn't
lies
they
or
invoke
something.
the Nazi
That's what I've
manifesto
heard.
in that? Didn't they call it? Didn't they have a bubble about the Nazi manifesto? Right? Well, we can't call it that. It's a Nazi manifesto. But yet you love calling everything else a manifesto.
Speaking of what,
Yes.
why do people call things a manifesto? Because they're manifesting that it's gonna happen. Like, so
If we say that Starmer is going to get sacked enough times, he eventually will get sacked.
It's gonna happen at some
Yes,
point.
he'll be gone before me. He's that fucking unlikable.
bro, you
But
said
my word is, I'm starting to believe that this was part of the plan. They wanted him ousted. They wanted him in because they thought he was the best chance of them getting elected, right? And then their plan is to oust him, right? Replace him with the guy that they really want, and basically have him unaccountable. Have the people not be able to vote on it. So who do you think's the next likely person to take over the Labour Party, take over as leadership of the Labour Party if Starmer or if Keir was ousted?
Well,
Who's
last
the
time I
most likely?
checked, it's either between
Reeves will be fired as well.
Reeves, maybe Rachel Reeves or West Streeting.
West Streeting's looking likely to lose his seat soon.
Well, Reeves it is then.
She'll be sacked. Reeves is getting calls to resign, so it can't be good out of them. So you're saying Angela Rayner would take on the role?
Maybe.
Why did the fucking retards of the country vote them in?
I'm not sure.
They voted them in, but not because they liked them, but simply, quite honestly, because that pissed at the Tories. I said that the Labour would be useless. That's why I didn't vote for them. I voted Reform. I said, fuck it. I know the Tories aren't going to win, but I don't really want to give these shower wasters a chance. I know he's going to. I don't trust Keir. I don't trust Labour as far as you can fucking throw the bloke. I said that about Corbyn. I said that about Keir. I couldn't trust them. I don't trust any of them. But as far as I could throw them, I didn't really trust Sunak, if I'm being truly honest. But I didn't think he did that bad of a job. And I think he'll look back in history as him being a better PM than Starmer. Am I wrong? Did Sunak have many controversies under his premiership?
Ooh.
None that would frickin' be career ending. I don't think.
No. There were things that would cause a fuss, but it may not be as bad.
Nothing that would rock the boat and get him sacked. Now, this is why I think history books will look back fondly on Sunak and think he wasn't that bad of a PM. Was he great? No. Was he a stepping stone to the next one? The next PM, yes. Do you think Boris will look good? Frowned upon? Look good? Do you think Boris Johnson will be looked favourable in the history books?
You know what? Possibly. It's likely.
I think Starmer will have the image of being one of the worst PMs. I think he'll be known in the history books as being worse than Tony Blair, who was effectively his campaign to become the next leader of the WEF.
Ah, yes, good old WEF.
How is the WEF controlled by Britain, by the King, by King Charles? Was it helped create? Was it founded by King Charles and a bunch of other people? Is he heavily involved in the WEF?
Inconclusive.
Speaking of which, weren't we supposed to look at who are free, like, the amount of like Freemasons before?
Yeah, Freemasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to look at who's part of the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it then. So where do we search? There's a directory that we can look at who's part of the Freemasons. How did we figure that out? I'm pretty sure Buzz Aldrin was one. was a Freemason. Do you think Trump was a Freemason?
Well, people are saying that he is a Freemason. Of course, you unfollowed me. Or, well, people said he is a Freemason because of the handshake he did with Biden or something like that. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I'm not really sure. Who knows? Trump could be a Freemason. Now I'm gonna be honest. He could be.
You don't realize how powerful the Masons are.
What'd you say? Yeah, we can get into that. We can get into that later. We can get into that.
Looks like Mike Johnson's. Looks like might be a new Speaker of the House.
So, is there anything else in the news lately?
Supposedly Thomas Massey, right? Right? This guy, what state is he from? This guy's from the Appalachians, right? So basically Virginia and all that. This guy's a senator. This guy is a representative, a U.S. representative. So effectively, he's against Israel, right? This guy he's a Republican, but he's against Israel, right? He hasn't taken anybody. I don't think he's taken anybody from. I'm not sure of any dual citizens in Congress. should elected members of the country should elected members of government should they have to disclose that they're dual citizens of another country? Fuck you, you cunt!
Are you okay?
Haven't we given you fuckers enough money?
Are you okay, Risk? What happened?
225 million.
Who are you talking about?
Ukraine.
Who's sending
There's
money
this
to?
225 million pockets for Ukraine, a brittle situation. All that money can be spent on fucking pensioners, you fucking nutwit.
That is a lot of money.
Fucking hell, you fucking weasel. Then they want to give 50 million to fucking Syria. Our fucking citizens can do with this.
That is
That money can be used to fucking revitalize some of our local communities. Fuck it. Fuck Ukraine.
But Risk, Ukraine needs it more than us.
They're money laundering my fucking tax dollars. Fuck you.
Oh, bugger.
But
we gave money to the effective new Taliban of fucking Syria. We gave 225. We're giving 225 million to Ukraine, with no guarantee of ever getting that money back.
Yeah, that's
Again,
true.
with the amount of money we've given to them, I want some fucking cities. Give me some airports. Give me some cities. Give me some military bases. And give me some fucking long-term good contracts on fucking wheat. If I'm spending this amount of money in that shithole, I deserve at least that fucking much. Give the UK some new cities. Take these people under our fucking wing. Make them British citizens. Make them an overseas fucking territory. God, if we spend this much money, I want some fucking land. God, I fucking hate this country. So what's up?
You just got to said, so what's up?
Yeah, I'm angry. What? Could be spent on homeless people. Could spend on the fucking pensioner.
Well, anyways, in other news, Florida is pulling out. Pornhub is pulling out of Florida due to age verification law. And
that was said years ago, right? Wasn't that it? I'm surprised Texas hasn't done that as well.
What'd you say?
I'm surprised Texas hasn't done that as well.
Yeah, so starting January 1st.
How bad would it affect Pornhub? The entire Bible Belt did this. Force them to pull out.
Someone said, like, in one of the comments, age verification is the hill they're gonna die on.
They're willing to see freaking men, women, gay, horses, and whatever else. But
also, say that again.
So they're willing to die on that hill of, even though they allow gay pornography, they allow gay lesbian pornography, they allow freaking men, women, and probably he/she pornography.
Yep, pretty much.
That's the hill they want to stand on.
Yep, that's the hill they're gonna stand on. They're gonna die on.
So that could be spent on winter fuel payments for elderly.
Yeah, that's true.
For pensioners, or revitalizing some of our coastal cities, revitalizing some of our local towns.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, but in other news, the Daily Wire is reportedly being bought out. The Daily Wire reportedly bought out Timcast.
Okay, so now he's an Israeli pawn. Fuck off. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. He even
Did you hear the fact that Brett Cooper's now leaving the Daily Wire? She was fired.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and someone else taking her place, and I've
Yeah,
heard
the way
that.
they went about that situation's weird. Like, and yet I don't think they should be allowed to profit off her. Everything she's done on that channel, right? If you want to do that, right, then all that channel,
Not
all her
anymore.
content has to fucking go with her. You don't
Hey,
get to
She's left
claim
now.
revenue off her, right?
hey, man, someone else is taking over the comment section. Not that I watched it, but hey, someone else is
I
taking.
watched it, kinda.
Oh,
It
Yeah, me
wasn't
too.
that bad.
oh, yeah. Not gonna say it's bad. I'm just saying.
I
I
thought Brett
prefer.
Cooper, yeah, I thought she was not a bad person. If I'm being honest, like she seems like a normal person. I
I mean,
actually watched her show like very, very often, right? But
yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely won't be watching that show. I'll probably follow whatever she's do. I'll probably watch whatever she's doing. And that if she tries to do the thing is though, that's the thing that this is an example on why you shouldn't sell your channel to fucking Jews or
Oh,
sell your channel to a bunch of big corporations, right? You lose all your creative freedom. You lose your social media. You lose everything. She's lucky that she's a likable personality. She was able to build a following.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I'm
true.
surprised that she even owns her Twitter account.
Oh, yeah. Brett Cooper seems like a great person. I mean, I'm pretty sure
I
she's.
think she'll go on to be bigger than. I think she'll grow on to be a big YouTube star. Like, I think she'll do
Shoot.
extremely well. If I were her, I'd set up a monthly subscription. They have people. What I'd do is set up a monthly subscription thing. Have people create one separate content for that, right? But I would also do YouTube and I would also do Rumble. Make
Shoot.
content Rumble on YouTube. Do
She'll
both of them.
she'll probably go on to like follow Candace Owens' footsteps. Who knows?
Candace Owens wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're both.
she used to be like a really big feminist back in the day. But
Wait, Candace Owens used to be a big feminist back in the day.
yes, supposedly.
I think she did talk. I think I actually remember her talking about that, like at some point. But yeah, now she's comes in the light. And Brett Cooper. I'll be honest. I know she believes in traditional values, but I don't really. Other than that, I don't really know what she stands for. So wait, Risk. What does she stand for exactly? I don't really pay attention to Brett Cooper like that. I only see her vaguely. You okay?
Mendes will be the first political appointment in the role for almost half a century. Lisa Mandelson is...
Ooh, Angela Rayner sets out devolution by default plan for England.
Oh, because Starmer couldn't hold a conversation beyond... My father was a tool maker.
You know, I will say this. Although
He is a tool. He's a tool for the World Economic Forum. The guy sounds like a tool. He's a drog. Nobody likes him. We all want him ousted. We have the same epitome of you as the Canadians have for Justin Trudeau and what you had for fucking Joe Biden. We fucking despise him. Remember, I met a more unlikable cunt in my life. He's such unlikable. The fact that they're having to bring in one of these House of Lords types, right? So these unelected bureaucrats, right, to fucking be the...
I will say this. New York does look beautiful.
There is now 85 Sharia courts in Britain. This is not Afghanistan. They must be shut down immediately. Yes, they should.
What else is there?
Swedish police to go aboard Chinese ship that was seen near Baltic cable ruptures.
Egypt government says Cleopatra had white skin is responsible for the Netflix documentary casting controversy.
They said Cleopatra had white skin, you said?
Yes. Wouldn't surprise me. Egyptians, for being honest, Egyptians were always kind of white people, right? They were part of white parts of Africa, right?
No, I'm pretty sure
Not to the point. I'm not saying they were completely white, but they had white pigments of skin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure most Egyptians were like black though. From what I've heard, like though. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's just
that might have been the case with the everyday people. We're talking about the royalty and the very powerful people in Egypt at that time. Probably, I'm pretty sure they intermingled with the Greeks and the Greeks and the people of Athens. Because remember, Cleopatra, she had a child with Julius Caesar, who was a white Roman general of Rome.
yeah, that's true. I think that's definitely true.
And she also had a kid with Mark Antony as well.
Sometimes when it comes to history, I question the generosity of it at times. But at the same time, I don't really dwell that much on.
What is going on in the UK? Who did the most to defeat Nazi Germany? The British 42%, don't know 21%. The fact that 2% say Belgium. What did Belgium do? They were fucking conquered by fucking Germany. Same with
Belgium?
Czechoslovakia, same with Poland. Same with Canada was half of France was fucking taken over by the fucking Germans.
Who are these people?
Who's the fucking 21%?
Oh no, it was Belgium, Czechoslovakia, Poland. That was suddenly taken over by Germany in World War II. And didn't have much fighting power. Goofy, man.
Very.
New Reform MP Rupert Lowe alleges there were plans to evacuate his constituency of Great Yarmouth over fears of potentially explosive fertiliser. In fact, he was not informed. You'd think that as someone as an MP, you'd think he would be the first person to know about that, wouldn't you?
You think?
Why wouldn't he?
I personally have no idea. I mean,
if you're wanting to know, Eric, MPs are effectively our term of governors.
oh, okay.
Of the effectively what we is the MP is effectively a governor, right?
Oh, okay.
But
So
he's kind of like a Senate leader, right? Is a governor / Senate leader, right? His
Gotcha.
local district. He has to go to. He does have to go to Congress sometimes. The Westminster, basically the House of Commons, effectively, and if he wants to, he can vote on bills, right?
Oh yeah. So I pretty much have no
He's
idea why
effectively
he
like a governor,
governor
and like a freaking MP.
Okay, so I pretty much wouldn't know why he wouldn't be the first one to know about things then.
Yeah, if he's the guy that fucking manages that. At least that's what I think. That's at least what I think an MP's job is. Like, they do answer laws and that, but they do. You would think that they'd be the first people to know. You would think they would be the first to know.
We all thought Joe Biden was the first one to know things, but
Yeah, he doesn't even know what all he knows is that he likes to touch children's hair and he likes ice cream.
hey, Joe Biden is a smart, wise man.
The violent fake asylum seeker in Switzerland found out. This guy probably whacked him.
Interesting. What else is there?
14 days until Switzerland outlaw of Muslim women wearing burqas takes effect.
I can't wait to see what they fucking react. If they react angrily, then it just proves that they're not here to fucking be nice. So we should deport them. Get rid of them.
So no more burqas?
Yeah, January 1st, Switzerland will take into effect outlawing women wearing burqas, or at least Muslim women wearing burqas, because
That's great.
who else, other than Muslim women, who else would wear burqas?
Also, I'll be honest. If they really if they really just want to be modest, all they have to do, if they want to be modest, they can also wear veils. They can also just wear.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, they can just wear veils on their hair because it's like I don't know. It's like they can just wear regular modest clothing with veils if they're really just, because veils actually aren't that bad.
Labour's new corruption minister, Tulip Sadiq, whose job it is to stamp out corruption, is under investigation in her homeland of Bangladesh for taking bribes of up to $4 million on a deal she brokered. Her Bangladesh, amid claims her family took billions from Russian nuclear plants she helped to broker a deal for. She's now our corruption minister.
Wow, crazy.
Oh, well, isn't that ironic?
Yes. The person that's supposed to stop crime and corruption is corrupt. So you
and
got
under investigation for corruption.
Minister. Yes. It is ironic.
Wow, who would knew?
Ain't that ironic?
It's like it's part of the fucking job description, ain't it? Oh, you have to freaking be corrupt to get the job of being to be against corruption, minister.
It's like she is whose job is responsible to stop. If that even makes sense.
People crying about the government shutdown, and I'm just here like, shut it down.
So what?
It's like, yeah, yeah. I'm reading it off Twitter, but yeah, I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, I heard the news that it said Elon found a way to kind of stop. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. Just shut it down. Don't shut it down. I don't think people
Shut what down?
The government apparently that's being shut down or something. It's probably not going to shut down.
Yeah, that's just what you mean, the omnibus.
Huh?
That happens every year. It's an excuse for them to ramsack and basically put in fucking oblivious and stupidity, money laundering things into it, right? Sometimes, I think a couple of years back, there was something about freaking transgender studies abroad, funding for transgender studies abroad in Africa. It was giving obscene amount of money. Or freaking trans ideology classes or some bullshit.
That is the most.
Some freaking aqua teen swimming or something like that. They were putting funding weird stuff for broads. Like, it was clear marked money laundering, what they were doing.
I'm not gonna lie, that is the most useless thing to ever study about, bro. What's that gonna do?
New Ed Davies has been re-elected unopposed as Lib Dem leader after triggering the mandatory once per Parliament leadership contest early. So Jamie, what's your views on Ed Davies? Do you think he's a good leader?
Well, okay, I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not saying he's as good as most. It's just mid in my opinion.
I don't like the fact he used his disabled son as a fucking political prop to get elected for his campaign.
Yeah, I definitely understand why he would do that. Like, I get you want to show that you care for those
Yeah,
with.
but it just makes you look like you're desperate, right? You're trying to come off as relatable, but you're really just using your son for political thing. Like, your son's not running for office, mate. You cannot hide against him. You cannot. The same with Stormer. Oh, my dad was a toolmaker. So what? You're not your dad. He's probably long dead, retired in a home, because like God knows you're not looking after him if he's alive. And let's be real here. At least your dad actually worked a real job. What have you fucking done? Apart from take money from being a fucking lawyer. One of the most sleaziest people above.
And also, Ed Davey has a stronger stance against Israel than other.
In what sense has he got a stronger stance as Israel? Is he up for supporting Hamas?
No, it's not supporting Hamas. It's just going against the Israeli government. From what I've
If he's
heard,
going just against the Israeli government, I can agree on that. But again, I don't think he's the right guy for it. Don't get me wrong. I think I would prefer him. I think I would prefer him as the opposition, if I'm being honest, to a conservative
yeah,
reform union.
actually, I definitely agree with that. I would rather have Ed Davey as opposition leader.
Honestly, personally, if it's not gonna create real change, then is it really worth it? Like,
what is?
I don't know, doing anything in general, like, because people do things. Do they really actually advocate for real change? Like, I'm not gonna lie, think about the civil right leaders who had to fight like for these things, and they actually got that change.
Well, they
Even
didn't get the change, though. They did get the change, right? And then they bickered on something else. We gave them gay rights. It's just another fucking way for them to beg for more money, right?
I'm not talking about
We gave them gay marriage rights, right? And then they fucking asked for more. Then they
I'm
asked.
not.
Then we gave them We gave them gay marriage rights. Then it went to something else like that. Respect our. We want to dress as we please, right? Fine.
I'm not
We
talking
want
about.
to rape your kids. Then there's a problem.
I'm not talking about them. No,
Oh.
that's degenerate. No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the actual positive. I'm talking about the actual positive changes, bro.
I don't think there's any positives. I don't think, on the net society level, I don't think there's any positives. I think homosexuality's fucked us mentally.
Yeah, no, I mean the gayness. I don't really care.
I don't think it's helped us in society. I think it's made us weaker.
I mean,
I think it's took broken families up. It's destroyed homes.
It has.
It's broken marriages.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Who's benefited from this?
Right?
Who's benefited all that? You got to think about who benefits from men and women getting divorced. Think more logical. The court system, lawyers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They benefit from us financially breaking up.
Yeah, but
not to mention the government, they benefit from it as well because it means they have more tax. It means that they'll eventually have more tax revenue.
I would say for the most part, it depends on what you're fighting for. If you clearly see that that's not a great thing to fight for, then like, bro, why would you fight for it at all?
A lot of women, they get married, right? They fall in love, right? And then they feel like
they can do better.
They just want to test. They want to go out for an hour. They want to drive a Ferrari or something like that. They married a fucking Kia, but they now think that they're grown up, mature enough to own a Ferrari.
Hey man, next thing you know, what
they realize the Ferrari's got a lot of maintenance to keep up, and they realize that she can't keep up with a freaking very hot man because he's always on the fucking go. She realizes.
I thought you were gonna say,
"My God, I broke up a fucking beautiful marriage just so I could act like a fucking degenerate 20-year-old."
I thought you were gonna say she can't keep up with a young man.
Most of these older women can't keep up with a young man, right? They can't. Especially one that is active in his prime and making money.
And one who wants sex
and
constantly.
goes to the gym, right? How can you keep up with a guy like that, right? That's always going to be
And a guy who just has a huge sex drive. He can't keep up with that.
Yeah, there's no way heck you can keep up with that, especially when she's 50, right? She'll be. There's a saying, there's like a reference to this in a 2.5 Men episode years ago. She realized who could hold it in, so she basically went back to the fucking sleazy, the guy that lives with his dead brothers.
Oh
Lives
yeah,
in his
no,
dead brother's house.
I remember that.
With his new best friend, billionaire best friend.
I remember that episode too, man. I remember because it's like she broke up with Alan to get with a younger man, but like she couldn't keep up with the guy. I'm not gonna lie. You know who the real
Sometimes I just want to go home and cry into my freaking jeans or something like that.
I'm not gonna lie. You know who the real sucker in that relationship was? Alan, because he kept going back to the girl who was a hoe. But
he was a simp. He was a simp.
I mean, there was one girl
He was scared of being alone. He was a simp.
Look, there was one girl who was good for him, but Alan didn't realize that. I'm like, look, if I had to choose between the girl who was just like me and liked me for me, even though I was broke, I'd choose her.
The funny thing is, though, this guy was rich. This guy made it rich and became very wealthy, right? And then he lost it all to this effective prostitute, young, attractive prostitute.
Oh yeah, right. He did get rich. Now that's crazy. He got rich, then lost it all to the prostitute.
Yeah, he won it he won it in Vegas.
He
was rich and that this candy chick, right? Very wealthy, right? Dumb as a fucking rod, right? Attractive, but dumb as a rod.
That's true. That's what some men like.
He lost it all up. He lost it. But yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised men don't learn from that show.
They don't. People take from what Charlie Sheen.
I mean,
Charlie Sheen now is. He was a.
He was a
player. The videos he did from 2020 in the early 2013s, were hilarious. The guy was on drunken rampages. The guy was. You couldn't tell, was this a freaking stunt or was this him just acting real life?
I think he's more calm now.
He's more calm, but the videos he did back then. The guy was like, freaking, if you think he was wild, right? Wait until you freaking hear, what was his name? The guy that made...
The guy who played Jake?
No, the guy that made... What's the ad blocking software?
I have no idea. I'll be honest, man.
I can't remember his name. But it's the guy that basically said, like, John McAfee. Yeah, this guy, you think he's clearly on something, right?
What, didn't John McAfee warn us about certain things that were to come?
Yes, he warned us about the fact that the government loses. What app does not spy on you?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're scared of the government. You're scared of TikTok spy on you? What app does not spy on you? Think, people. Think. McAfee.
It woke some people up, not enough.
The guy was in a fucking a video where he effectively new video, John McAfee, Telegram, 12/27. He was in like this fucking cubicle with freaking what was his name? The stuff that you would use the tinfoil, right? This is a real tinfoil hat guy. 2020 is, as in this day, is in exile. I am being charged with using cryptocurrencies in criminal acts against the US government. More videos coming shortly. Stay tuned. Mixology 101, the art of drinking scotch. How the marketing arm of the deep state are used as tools of deception and corruption. Spent a couple of years with the legend himself, John McAfee. I learned so much knowledge from this man. It truly is God's speed. I will always cherish the memories we spent together traveling through the states and countries as freemen. I truly thank you for everything, John. I'll just say this about John McAfee. This was incredibly impressive. I've never seen a breakdown of a video done better. If you had listened to John about Bitcoin, you would have been very happy these days. John McAfee was very pro-Bitcoin. Did you know that John McAfee was that fucking pissed at the US government, right? He donated laptops to the US government, right? He then had spyware to listen in on them and find out who's running the pedo rings, who's running the freaking sex trafficking, who's running the drug gangs. Supposedly guys in the US government that's running them. That shit.
Interesting.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. How did he even get all that set up in the US government?
He donated laptops, right, men.
Oh, and
to the state. Bad spyware. He even talked about it with this lady. The biggest traffickers are our government. has been raiding the homes of its citizens for a while, it seems. I never knew this interview existed. No wonder why they wanted him gone.
Yeah,
I'll send you this.
he was a genius.
I don't want them coming to kill me.
I mean, he was a genius. He gave them laptops so he can spy on them because
This
they're
is the
spying.
video of him talking about.
He
It's
exposed
in
himself.
Discord.
Oh, I guess he knew he was gonna die, so he just exposed himself.
No, he was. This was years ago
Yeah.
before he died.
Oh,
John
Fuckers.
McAfee was literally arrested. Well, what about he was Edward Snowden, right? Except the only difference is that they killed him because he was threatening to release everything about these guys, and he died.
couldn't have that.
McAfee antivirus software.
Poland becomes first EU country to mandate gun classes in schools.
W Poland. It's good. That is a great great thing to hear. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
most of this generation doesn't know how to use a gun.
John
back
McAfee talks about his beef with Santa and offers a reward to anyone who could help locate him. That's funny.
I found the video where it says the cure for cancer is dog warmer. Illuminati bot reposted the video, but because I'm like, is this really the cure for cancer? I don't know if it's true or not. If it's true or not, if this is actually the cure for cancer, then it's just been right under our noses the entire time.
Yeah, I've actually heard that there's cancer vaccines given out to Russian citizens in 2025.
Took them long enough. They could have done it way sooner.
I think John McAfee also warned, "Do not take the vaccine, people."
Like the regular flu vaccine, or just the COVID vaccine during the time. Hello.
There were no
Silence.
tax before 1913. Twitter and TikTok. John McAfee. I just composed background music to my fourth presidential campaign video. Did you know that McAfee actually ran for president?
He did. When?
Yeah.
Which year?
This is 2019, but he did.
2019.
No one voted for him, or he didn't get enough votes.
He couldn't even get on the ballot, mate, because he was that fucking. There's no way anybody would vote for it. Nobody. You realise in a lot of the states it's hard to get on the third ballot as a third person.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. If I knew what I knew now back in 2019,
If I knew, I'd probably vote for him as well.
yeah, it seems like he seems like a very smart man.
He was very critical of government as well.
Yeah, he definitely was, man. He probably would have been a better president than what we're having now.
The guy ran for government because he was a true American. The only difference is they killed him. He wasn't. I don't think. I think he went. I think he was scared people were going to kill him.
All right. Yeah, that's true. But in other news, Nick Fuentes has suffered an assassination attempt on his life. He is now forced to relocate.
Jews need to keep Muslims and Christians fighting. We need to turn against the Jews. Fuck the Jew.
Okay, look, I'm just gonna say this right now. I would love more than look. Here's the thing. In a perfect world, Muslims and Christians would work together, but in reality, it just can't happen. For one,
They want to take over. Case dismissed, but I do not long for freedom. I long for justice.
For one, they deny the divinity of Christ, so I can't really break bread with someone who denies Christ. Even though they say that he's an amazing prophet, you still deny his divine nature.
One of the richest countries in the world at the time, so wealthy it gave foreign aid to Switzerland, another country destroyed by usual suspects every single time. Jews. Romania, 1885. Jews. One of the very wealthiest nations.
There's only one race in America who truly has free speech. Who is it?
Is it the Jews?
Nah,
clearly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading something off Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just reading something off Twitter. It's like you didn't really ask that question if you didn't want to. But yeah, I don't. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the answer to that question. I'm not gonna lie, yo, I would love more than nothing to go back to the early 2000s, bro. It was simple. It was simple.
Those were the days.
I mean, I know you shouldn't live in the past, and I'm not. But I'm just saying, it was simple, bro. It's like I'm looking back on a video right now, and I'm like, dang. Snow days, simple.
Oh, this looks like a third world city.
What does?
Paris.
Paris, yeah, of course.
Like,
Hey.
where's the fucking Frenchmen?
Or French women.
I don't see any of them. Paris, what did they do to you?
Wait, hold on. Whites are trending? Let me see. Let me see what people are saying here.
We are one of the most fucked over races.
Hold on. I'm gonna read this post right here. White genetics need to be preserved and protected, which is why it's so important that white people don't ever race mix. Because by race mixing, you're literally making the white race disappear forever. Without the like this is the lady tweeting this too. Without the white race, there is no Western civilization or inventions and beautiful things. There would be nothing. That's what she said.
Should praying in the street be banned by Muslims? Yes. Why are they praying in their streets? They've got mosques.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. Beautiful shit.
What is the kale allergy plan?
And you know what? I think that's a great way to say it, actually. Because I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people, like not gonna lie. I mainly just been seeing like people just like saying, yeah, it's cool that you want to preserve your race, but why you gotta be like upset at every race for it?
Because they're the ones that are a threat to us.
I mean, the burn of
The
performance.
Indians are a threat to our national security. The Saudi Arabians are a threat to our national security. Polish people are a threat to our national security. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was what it was.
Labour London Council promotes social housing to migrants who can't even speak English before quietly taking down video because we forced them to.
German police are profiling old white ladies at Christmas market to compensate the not they're carrying for self-protection. The same profile not applied to illegal aliens who pose a threat to said old ladies. Huh. Nah, that's crazy though.
One of the freaking people that can't defend themselves.
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of that.
One word to describe the current Labour government.
4chan is where real news has been since 2004.
4chan.
Yeah, 4chan. Huh. You think? Is 4chan even still a thing? Probably is.
Probably, yeah. But it's not talked
On
about as
this
often.
day, 162 years ago, Ulysses S. Grant expels all Jewish people from Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky.
Oh, that is messed up, bro. He's playing rock. This man is playing rock paper scissors with an armless female. Hold on, let me just show you.
Wait, Ulysses S. Grant expels all Jewish people from Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky.
Really?
Wasn't he a big president, Ulysses S. Grant?
I think so.
Yeah, he supposedly told 162 years ago, kicked the Jews out of Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Why? Because they were profiting off a war with Cotton. They told them, fuck off. And Lincoln warned them. Benjamin Franklin and the Jews. In whatever country Jews have settled in any great numbers, they have lowered its moral tone, deprecated its commercial integrity, have segregated themselves and have not been assimilated, have sneered at and tried to undermine the Christian religion, have built up a state within a state, and have, when opposed, tried to strangle the country to death financially. If you do not exclude them from the United States in the Constitution, in less than 200 years, they will have swarmed in such great numbers. They will dominate and devout land and change our form of government. If you do not exclude them, in less than 200 years, our descendants will be working in the fields to furnish the substance while they will be in the counting house, rubbing their hands. I warn you, gentlemen, if you do not exclude the Jew from all time, your children will curse you in your graves. Jews, gentlemen, are statistics. They will never be otherwise. Wait, Benjamin Franklin said this.
Really? He did?
Really?
You.
Okay.
Oh.
Benjamin Franklin was a Republican, wasn't he?
Okay.
He's not wrong, though. In 200 years, they will be the guys in the counting houses.
Has it been 200 years or more than now?
Yes.
Wow.
And who do you think runs Goldman Sachs?
Wow.
Bank of America.
He was pretty spot on.
JP Morgan Chase.
He was pretty spot on.
This is his views, and I'm starting to like me some Benjamin Franklin.
Eh.
I'm starting to think these guys might actually have some words to say about the Jews. This is the post in Discord.
From 1706 to 1790. 1790 to died. 84. Benjamin Franklin. Wait,
Even George Washington said, never engage in other countries' business.
that's true. We shouldn't.
Engage in other nations' business. But thanks to Jews, you guys were shoved in World War II and World War One and modern wars.
And they're trying to hide this from modern history, aren't they? They're trying to say that these people believed in this and this, but they're not talk about the fact that they had these views either.
General Order Number 7. General Grant's order expelling the Jews from Baratak. Pajukin, KY. General's Orders Number 11. Headquarters, 13th Army Corps Department of the Tennessee Oxford Miss. December 17, 1862. The Jews as a class violating every recognition of the trade established by the Treasury Department, also department orders, are hereby expelled from the department within 24 hours from the receipt of this order. By post commanders, they will see that all this class of people are furnished with passes and required to leave, and anyone returning after such notification will be arrested and held in confinement until an opportunity occurs of sending them out as prisoners. Unless furnished with permits from these headquarters, no passes will be given to these people to visit headquarters for the purpose of making personal applications for trade permits by order Major General Grant. Western Telegraph Lines. The telegraph lines west are all down, but is expected they will be repaired by tomorrow morning. The wires of the telegraph lines to the west have nothing further from Murfreesboro's. The law on courts. The January term of the Court of General Sessions will commence this morning. Honorable John H. McCone. General Grant's orders expelling the
Two girls looking for a train. Two Caucasian women looking for a train from a bunch of yikes. I think they're on a oh yeah, no, they're all black. Not white. I'm just trying to wonder why they're all why are they I don't know. A lot of dudes in the same room doing girls in the room. And yeah, it is kind
For airports, background music no longer is an afterthought. Huh. Interesting.
really interesting.
Airports are now integrating sophisticated sounds and music into their identities. The goal is to enhance the travel experience by tailoring soundscapes to different times of the day and types of travelers. Background music is implemented to improve customer satisfaction at airports.
Wait, this is true. This is quite interesting. You'll find Jews demanding money from George Washington to create Israel long before Zionism was invented. So you're saying years ago they wanted funding from America to help create the state of Israel during the after. Interesting. Who knows?
Make abortion legal again.
Make what legal?
No, illegal abortion.
What's a Homeland Security grant?
Homeland Security Grant.
Yeah, look it up for me, please.
Alright.
Supposedly, 94% of Jews receive 94% of Homeland Security grants.
Alright, as stated by the United States Department of Homeland Security, these 4 areas of mission supporting responsibilities are what drives the Homeland Security Grant program. Protecting the United States from terrorist threats is the founding principle and highest priority.
Then why are you funding terrorists with the terrorist Jews with the 94% Homeland Security grants?
Next is securing the nation's southern and northern borders along with air and sea ports.
How does this help benefit Americans by giving Jews grants?
Not even I would know.
Next.
Facilitating legal immigration and naturalizing new Americans while prosecuting those who violate a country's laws.
They not like
US.
they not.
Have you ever noticed that Jews never assimilate? They never assimilate.
And finally, helping communities prepare, respond, and recover from all facets of disaster.
Interesting.
I can't believe SpongeBob is still 24.
Who's 24?
No, I said SpongeBob is still a thing in 2024.
Right.
That Trump calls for the debt ceiling. Sorry, the debt ceiling to be abolished. Okay,
Then they're just going to get into more debt.
pretty much, yeah. But I don't know how that's a good idea. How that's a good idea? But
I think he realizes there's no point because the fucking country's going to go down anyway. The country's going to go bankrupt anyway.
that's true.
No point in fucking doing it. May as well write off the debt, right? Allow the country to go bankrupt, right? Give Puerto Rico its independence, right? And then load it up with that debt. That's how you freaking do it and let them collapse. America's not the first country to go to freaking.
Following the dinner with Jeff Bezos at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump declares, "Everybody wants to be my friend." Well, you're a rich millionaire. What do you expect?
You're a millionaire and you are the next future president. Everybody wants to freaking control. Everybody wants influence.
Everyone wants to make deals with you.
Yeah. What do you really?
Because that's what he's good at.
Just comes with the territory. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but you gotta watch out for that because it's like they might not have your best interest in.
You think Elon has our best interests at heart? I don't think he does. But
Oh, come on, Elon is a great man. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, friends. I mean, his own son Xavier, he likes him. No, he doesn't. Clear. Huh. There's no way this all happened for no reason.
What is Raimi?
What about Raimi?
Yeah, what is Raimi?
I don't know. Never heard of it before.
It's another territory America owns, supposedly.
Jews expelled in 612 AD.
Visigoth, Spain, Jews expelled. After that, I'm pretty sure they're the golden period.
Remy. Okay, I get it.
What is it?
Remy is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection sector, or Border Patrol.
Are you saying we should expel all the Jews?
Yes.
What?
We'll have to expel them. Let them go all to Israel. Let them have their nation Israel and tell them to fuck off.
Okay.
They're the reason why the countries are fucked. You got Visigoth, Spain. You got Austria, Jews expelled. Zurich, Cologne, Savoy, Masburg, Netherlands, Bavaria, France, Breslau, Wurzburg, Mainz, Warsaw, Venetia, Spain, Italy, Lithuania, Naples, Portugal, Nuremberg, Navarre, Brandenburg, Prussia, Strasbourg, Jeddah, Rosenberg, Naples, Prague, Jeddah, Bravia, Pescia, Prague, Austria, Prague, Rusin, Papal States, Randa, Netherlands, Hungary, Frankfurt, Wards, Kiev, Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, North America, Vienna, Sandemore, Russia, Warburg, Porgug, Slovakia, Livona, Moravia, Lithuania, Bronox, Warsaw, Alais, villages, Latvia, Kremlin, Russia, Moscow, Bavaria, Nazi-controlled areas, Visno, Italy, Germany, Upper Bavaria, England, France, Switzerland, Saxony, Hungary, Belgium, Slovakia, Germany, France, Lyons, Austria, Freiburg, Zurich, Cologne, Mainz, August, Netherlands, Bavaria, France, Breslau, Warsling, Mainz, Warsaw. Fucking hell.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot. That's a lot.
All the way up to freaking modern, almost near 18th century. They had the fucking papal states, bruh. Papal state. Lithuania.
So what else is in the news? Let's check.
After this, the countries flourished.
So after, they expelled most of the Jewish people there, the country...
Yes, a lot of them had their golden ages. Spain had their golden age as soon as we sacked and got rid of the Jews. England had its golden age as soon as we got rid of the Jews. France had its golden age as soon as we got rid of the Jews.
We have heard about this.
But when they brought them
back, we all suffered.
We all suffered. I mean, look, if the statistics says that, we're in our golden age, then we were in our golden age. Much about that. I mean, who knows? Maybe they are onto something.
Should we maybe just give them an island instead?
What about
Should we just give them the island?
Okay, what about the patriotic Jewish people who actually love America? Do they still go?
As long as they signed to give up as long as they signed to prove that they're not, as long as they promised to be loyal to America and give up any natural citizenship of Israel. You want to be American, you're an American. You don't get a claim to be Jewish. You can just worship your religion, but you cannot have any. In my view, if you're an Israeli Jew, if you're a Jewish and you love America, give up Israeli citizenship. You can still worship as a Jew, but your loyalty is to America, not Israel. I think it's coming to the time where these people will have to decide whose side are you on. Are you a side of Americans or you're an Israeli?
You know what? I think that's fair. It's like you got to show your allegiance to one. To like,
Who are you? Who are you for? Are you for America or Israel? You can't have two. You can only be one.
and maybe for a time, and maybe also for a time, we should also stop, like having people come to America from different countries for a time, as well.
I'd say the same for Britain, unless you want to take us in as a country.
I would say like I don't know, probably for the next. No, I mean people still visit, but it's like it's like as far as like living free. No, I don't know. Let the
Labour American billionaires have no place in British politics. Why shouldn't they have a place?
yeah. It's like
Why shouldn't and then there's a picture of him and Bill Gates.
you said what?
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see these people? Deep state.
Deep state.
Wait, that George Bush in a wheelchair?
George Bush is in a wheelchair now?
Which one?
I think that might be Senior in a wheelchair.
Well, I remember George Bush Sr. was in a wheelchair before he passed.
Oh, dang. A dude actually did try to kill Nick. Dang. I'm not gonna lie, at that point, Nick just needs to get a gun.
Wait, he doesn't. He's not a gun-fearing American.
I assume he doesn't have a gun.
Why wouldn't you have a gun? Like, no offense, but if you're an American, right, why wouldn't you have a gun? That's your goddamn right.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but he should. If people are coming after him, he should get a gun, or I don't know, something.
That's the first time I've ever seen Jews actually work a real job.
Oh wow! I'm not gonna lie. You got Michelle Obama, Michael, you got Barack, you got Bill in a wheelchair.
First time I've seen a Jew do actual work.
Wait, really? Hold on.
Look, a Jew freaking knocking down a building. First time you've seen them.
Oh, come on, man. They do work.
What you mean being bankers and lawyers? Real Jews don't do, or bankers or businessmen, right? None of them really work in normal or trades or not.
But realistically, this dude is way too old to be doing this, man. Like, come on, what are you doing?
He looks like one of the Orthodox Jews, right?
I think he is. He might be, or he just might be. I don't think those are. That's how an Orthodox Jew.
Orthodox Jews dress like that. I'm pretty sure. Ain't that right, Jamie?
Also, absolutely, yeah.
Orthodox Jews dress like that.
It's crazy. I've seen a Jew. I've seen Jewish men that look exactly like that.
Yeah, because it's the Orthodox Jews of New York. They dress a lot like that.
I don't see like Jews who dress like that often, but it's like when I do, it's like I'm like, huh.
It's probably part of their community.
Yeah, I think it depends on what part of New York I'm in. Because I don't really see this much in Queens. You get a little bit in Manhattan, but I'm not gonna lie. What is he? He's not really doing any real work. It just seems like he's just knocking down certain parts that were of the bricks that are not yet concreted on the, fully dry on the thing. And plus, on top of that, he got his coat dirty.
Wait, she actually skipped the entire brown world IMO.
You said what?
Not in China. She skipped China and she skipped Asia. People based on color of their skin, state-sanctioned racism. I wonder how many, if there's going to be more people defect to reform. Do you think we'll see more people defect to reform?
But it will happen when we least expect it.
Do reform have a chance of winning the next conference? Winning the next election?
It depends on which the electoral system is used. First past the post, no. But with proportional representation, possibly.
But do you read the risk with proportional representation? We risk an Islamic party becoming powerful.
Hey, the Muslims are our greatest ally. I'm joking.
I feel like I'm my only one that feels like they might actually be using reform as a way to get in. Muslims might be using reform as a way to take over.
Then the party's corrupt.
We have a bunch of it. The chairman's a Muslim.
Yikes! Sorry.
Doesn't mean that he's one of the bad ones. Remember, there are some moderate Muslims. There are moderate ones.
Is he
the ones from Saudi Arabia and the ones from the UAE?
Is he a follower of the Islamic religion.
He is, but he's not. There are two different sects, Eric.
Then he.
There's the sect. There's the religious zealot sect that's part of Iran and the Ayatollah, and then you've got UAE, Saudi Arabia, and and then you've got Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar that actually want to fricking interact with the modern world and actually want to be a part of modern society. And they actually want to succeed, make money, do business.
I'll say this. Either way,
You've got to be skeptical, but
either way, if they try to spread Islam, bro, it's just
he
either way.
doesn't seem to be preaching it in his posts and that.
It doesn't really matter what sect they're in. You know, if they
don't seem to be preaching it though.
still have to be cautious. He might be a long game, but at the same time, you might be right.
But again, you've got a question, but they've already used labor. They effectively I think they're going to conquer the labor government. Right? I think the Indian conservatives. I think Indians are going to conquer the Conservative Party in that, and make it control. Are going to effectively influence and control the Conservative Party. I think that's where they're going to take.
Wait, man canceled for rejecting trans woman.
You've also got to remember the Sikhs are very pro reform, right? So they're going to take a vast majority of the Sikhs. They're going to be big members of reform.
But even that is the case. It may not take too much, because how many Sikh voters of reform are there compared to the total number of reform?
I think there's a majority. I think there's a lot of Indians that would probably support reform as well. There's also a lot of people. There's also a lot of Jews that seem to be wanting to support reform. There's also seems to be a lot of white. I think there's probably a lot of Asians and blacks, probably, and Polish people that want to support reform as well. Others that want to support it, but who knows? The 2022 described the lack of compensation for WASPy women as a real injunction, yet Labour government has decided not to compensate WASPy women. He duped everyone, a snake oil salesman. He's like John D. Rockefeller. It's father, who eventually, even he said, his own father, John D. Rockefeller, right? His father was a snake oil salesman, right? Even his own son said he was a snake oil salesman.
I wonder if there's at least one person in each family who rebels against, like, you know, the ideas of their family or, you know, tribe, whatever they want to call it. Like, I wonder if there's at least one man or woman who does not agree with anything that their family is doing. Like, for instance, you know how he said Hitler was Jewish, but he didn't agree with the Jewish, like, you know, ideology. Something like I think if there was someone like that, obviously you would have to be skeptical of them for a while. But you know, maybe they'll prove themselves to be trustworthy.
God. Don't you think this is a little bit cringe, right? Ed Davies is currently live streaming a FIFA match on TikTok.
What happened?
This politician's apparently live streaming a FIFA match on TikTok.
Really? Hold on. What's his name? Is he in the UK or the US?
Ed Davies, Lib Dem's leader.
What'd you say?
He's trying to act cool for the kids, right? But kids are just going to think this is desperate, sad. They're going to like Nigel because he seems more effective.
Well, at least he would be seen as more relatable to the people. It's not going to do much, but at least it's an attempt to connect with the people.
Yeah.
Than most politicians.
It looks weird, but right. I think Nigel overall, will probably do very well with the youngsters.
You know what I would consider weird if Trump was trying to play FIFA.
I find it weird as well, but yeah. So how much followers do you think the other guys have on social media, right? Nigel's got like a massive following, right? And these other guys, right, they've got like 300, 200k followers.
I wish
there about right.
You know, I wish there was a way that like any
Boris Johnson, at least on Twitter, had 4.6 million.
I really wish our
Nigel
society.
Farage has at least 2.1.
Are these people in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh. You know,
Remy Badnock, got to see how much followers she has. 271k.
You know what? I really wish this whole thing. I really wish, like, you know, we lived in a world where we would just like pretty much vote for anybody who's the best, no matter how many followers they have.
I know, but I'm not saying this, right? The fact that they haven't got that, the fact that they've got next to no fucking online social media presence is kind of a little bit concerning because, no offense, but that's kind of how you get people nowadays to vote.
That's true.
Yeah. Nigel's got more followers than fucking Keith. I wonder if Trump's still as popular. He's got 96.
You said you wonder if Trump what?
I wonder if Trump's got 91. Elon's got 208 million followers.
Matter of fact, does Elon Musk even have Instagram, or does he just have Twitter?
Probably has Instagram, but he doesn't use it. X is his big platform.
That's true.
Joe Biden's only got 38 million followers.
Matter of fact, didn't Elon Musk have a son who was on iCarly?
Did he?
I think he did. I think his name was. Dang, I think he played Gibby's little brother. I forgot the. Guppy? No.
That's the character's name.
Yeah. No, I know that's the character's name. I'm trying to figure out the character's name. Matter of fact, iCarly cast. Hold on. Fred, well-known Gibby. I don't know.
My son is dead, killed by the woke virus. Elon Musk owns about losing his son. Says supposedly Musk's father is very conservative. Wouldn't surprise me. South African men are very conservative. I hope Clarkson's not following for her. Oh my god, this is quite fun. This is a funny meme. Man fucks 8 billion people at once. And it's got a Pornhub logo.
I'll find it later.
Oh,
Miranda Cosgrove is 31. It looks great. Anyways,
Bill says he thinks Elon will donate 20 million to the party. Susan Reed, would you like to say sorry to the pensioners? Keir Starmer, the people should be saying sorry. The people who should be saying sorry have Alaska for it. No, mate. You are the one who removed the winter fuel allowance from millions of pensioners. Stop gaslighting. You're in charge. You cannot blame the Tories. You cannot blame Blair. You are the one in charge. You cannot blame anybody else. He is just like fucking. This guy is just like Trudeau.
Yes.